Souboutei once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. I was gonna make these more Souboutei inspired, but I just thought about it, and as I was saying the words, I couldn't think of anything else that rhymed, so it was just All-Star. Anyways, hey guys, it's Souboutei time. It's been a while, like a long while. My background's different. My lighting is very different. My future husband, very different. He's just kind of off camera. Can you see him? Is he here?
That was I was not expecting that.
It's been a long while time. Did I have a job when I last did Souboutei? I don't remember. I do remember saying repeatedly, all right, this is coming out once a month, but I'm feeling real bad because I don't have a job. So let's close that loop. Got a job. Things are going well. Got a promotion. Making those fat stacks. Not fat enough, but fat-ish. Anyways, that's enough personal talk. I just wanted to say that because it's been a hot minute. There has been a lot of Souboutei out. Right now, I'm starting with Chapter 80. I last did 79. We have up to 109 out. Not going to do all of those right now, because Souboutei is long. The only thing I've been spoiled on, let's just jump backwards so I don't accidentally spoil myself again. I have seen the title of one chapter, which is a relatively soon chapter, which is called Takoha Gets Stabbed. So that's my one spoiler. I assume the chapters have been relatively literal in terms of meaning, so I do think Takoha is going to get stabbed. Apart from that, I have no idea what's going to happen. Right now, we are in the middle of the Rokuro having the water girl sucked into his face. Shino. I wrote down all the names. I still don't remember them, but I have them written down so I can refer to them. We are professional now, boys. Anyways, woof. Sorry, I'm also hyper-ish. I had drank a lot of coffee to try and make myself awake. So this might be a bit incoherent, but I'm gonna try and pull it together for you guys. Anyways, yes, we had the whole, oh, is Shino actually a misunderstood good girl? It turns out no, she's awful, like we thought. Souboutei must be destroyed, in fact. Rokuro is, I don't know. I mean, last time it seemed like he was gonna, I mean, at the very least, we had the, he's rebelling, but it seems like he's gonna kill himself. I guess that's the main thing. I don't know what nitrogen would do like this. Because generally, the standard thing is you open nitrogen, liquid nitrogen, I mean, and it just freezes everything around it. As you can see, the containers are creating the stereotypical nitrogen gas fog. I don't think Groker was gonna die, but I don't know how he would protect himself. Unless it is blasting out of him to try to get away and thus being frozen in the middle of the air. Because Shino does not, as far as we know, understand how nitrogen works. She just knows, it's bad. It's a bad thing. It's bad to us. We can keep it out of Souboutei to some extent, but mostly it's just a bad time. She wanted to teach. Okay. The only thing I felt is, I mean, what is it? We do know he hates Souboutei, so maybe it's rage. The chapter itself is called Courage, and I do think what we're building to is the standard idea that courage is not feeling fear. Courage is acting despite your fear. So, and I guess the big question then is can another emotion feed into courage? If you're doing something, if you're acting against your fear because you're angry or you're mad or just you're so scared that you lose your mind, could you call that courage? I think the lattermost thing I said, just acting in terms of sheer fear and accidentally getting yourself out of the situation, obviously not courage. But anything else, I feel like even if it is a negative emotion like hatred or malice, I do think in some way, if it is something that causes you to act against what you fear, it could be seen as courage. This emotion is called rage. Okay, yeah, so it is his rage. And it's so cool that, she is water and his rage is being personified right now as flame, just pure raw fire. Nope, you do not get to leave. Oh boy. Jesus. I really, I do think the scan is probably making this part a bit rough. Because it feels like there should be a bit more of a transition from his hand to the flame. But I do think like it looks good. It's just like this. You can see little bits here that looks like just improper cleaning residue. Which, as I've said before, I'm fine with it. I want Souboutei to get an official release, so like this does not need to be max quality for me to appreciate it. I want Shino to be destroyed, but I don't know if he can survive this. I mean, like, clearly, obviously, Rokuro does not want to survive this. He wants this to be a suicide bombing attempt, but I don't want him to go. And we know, actually, because there is that tiny little drop of the old man still in him, that, likewise, Shino could survive even if Shino is just a tiny little drop. So I guess that really does mean, like, the only safe way to completely annihilate her would be to completely annihilate him. So I just have to force her out. Okay. I never thought I could actually destroy Souboutei, so that's why. Jesus. Okay, he's just gonna swallow it. And I mean, I did say before, like, what's he gonna do? There's no way he's gonna destroy Souboutei. That combined with the fact that obviously Seiichi's much better prepared to destroy Souboutei by virtue of being an anti-Souboutei weapon. But I mean, I get it. I get it. He's come all this way, and he does have a way to do this. Like, apart from just bringing the truck in, if he can destroy Shino, that is a big blow. Like, that is the sentient part of the water at the very least. Of course, not including my personal theory, which is that the water is separate from the actual darkness of Souboutei. Honestly, my ultimate like endpoint here, and this is jumping way ahead, would just be like I would want Seiichi to be the one who destroys the water. Like that combined with everyone else's, like everyone working together, obviously. But I want Seiichi to be, the main weapon that destroys the water. But then I would want I would want the actual lands to be cleansed to some extent. And we know like some of these spiritualists there can do that to some extent. We know that Kurenai, like she has training with fighting actual like supernatural spirits. So I think there is like a possibility for them to to do something after the water's been eradicated. I don't want him to die. I really don't. He's so cool. When you know you're about to deliver a crushing blow to your enemy, you're not supposed to think about dying too. Having the spirit to overcome in the face of difficulty, that's courage. Courage means not accepting death no matter what. If you want to be brave, you have to try to survive. And it does look like Shino's being forced out, like by by virtue of him swallowing the nitrogen, or at the very least, intending to swallow the nitrogen. So it could be that she completely leaves and then they blast her. I want to destroy Souboutei, and then Sister Taka, Seiichi, and everyone will all go home. Oh, and she gets to like finally. I mean, it's not that Kurenai hasn't done anything, but like her actual fighting skills haven't been the most useful. They've been about as useful as the other spiritualists. So if she gets slain, the killing blow on Shino. If it gets if it's a brother sister killing, oh man. I mean that looks like it. That looks like it. Plus, I imagine like if Shino was just pure water, then this wouldn't have worked. But because the nitrogen is in the air, destroying her and also like freezing the liquid, then it's actually physically possible to cut her in quarters. Because like the cut also looks like 4 distinct quarters. It's not like just pure water kind of floating everywhere. I can't say it's satisfying because like, for the last couple of chapters, I have been invested in Shino as a person. Like I was led astray to some extent, so I can't say it's a great feeling to see her die, but like I'm fine with it. Okay, meanwhile, Kairukuro, the girl who may or may not be Makoto, who, as we all know, is Seiichi's fiance. And by fiance, of course, I mean brother. I do remember that. It's been 50 chapters, but Seiichi and Makoto are brothers, right? Let me know in the comments. Honestly, the further we go, the less I feel like the series is going to straight up just say, give an explanation for her hair. We have to get one, right? But it doesn't seem like it's Makoto like faking anything. So I feel like it's gotta be just like he bunked his head, he had amnesia, and then he was raised by that cult as a girl. But like it doesn't quite line up as the thing. It would be really weird if it was just like she's the third person from the planets, or she ate Makoto and absorbed the water as well, or something. Okay, they actually do know of her. Like, it's such a small. I mean, to be fair, I'm saying it's a small thing, but I think the main reason Kerr and I didn't know about it was because it was, this not ancient, but this thing from the Imperial era. So I guess it does make sense that they would know at the very least, or one of them may, just happen to know about it. A so-called living idol who received prayers from the public. Right, right. It's bad TL notes. Very bad TL notes. That didn't help in the slightest. Maybe that province was famous for good sword schools. I don't know. I mean, I don't know either. I mean, just, for the future, and I know this is several months after this chapter got translated, so this is not in any way advice at all. Like, bad TL notes. Worse than just not having one. I mean, it does look like he is, he landed a blow at the very least. But, I've also been assuming this whole time that she is, at the very least, using the white water from him. But if she isn't, I mean, no, we know that she can heal at the very least. Like, even if this is just a massive coincidence, if it's completely unrelated, at the very least, she should be able to heal herself, right? Okay, Kairikuro have a body which heals extraordinarily fast. And I guess, she wouldn't have to splash water on herself because it's just her body. It's a thing that the water's in. Oh, right, a painting. I'm so used to it just being, arms or something that drag people into the painting, but that's actually super, what could her fear be? I mean, it is just a straight-up fish. But, we didn't get anything in her backstory that would imply that she's scared of fish. I mean, I kind of assumed it would just drag her into the painting. But no, this fish is, jumping through the paintings. That's pretty unique, actually. I wonder if that's because the white water, or not the white water, but because the water has decided, no, she can't be taken alive. There's no point in bringing her in, it's just not a good time. Let's just kill her. Oh, is that Takoha? Yep. I mean, the glasses. I didn't recognize the bag. I guess he's always had this bag with the, what is that called again?
Dharma.
A Dharma on it. I mean, I guess we've got to have a Takoha as a hero scene with, basically everyone. What in the world is this fish, though? Oh boy, this is the chapter. This is Takoha gets stabbed. Which, to be fair, this fish does not have, a knife on it or anything. And I wouldn't say that, being bitten by something with, large fangs like that is being stabbed. So, I feel like it's got to be one of the soldiers, then, that just shanks him. I'm not super worried about that, because Karikuro's here. She could heal him, so probably not going to be a fatal stabbing, but I mean, just being stabbed in general, not a good time. I don't want to, even in a series that has, rapid healing or healing powers or something of that nature, you don't want to be stabbed. That's usually just not a good thing, unless you are literally immune to stabbing. Takoha, people... I mean, I guess he's just doing it because he's mad. He just doesn't give a shit, but come on, that ancient people are here. These guys probably aren't in cosplay. Ooh, actually. Yeah, just say that you're Dato's friend and maybe it'll be okay. Maybe. Oh yeah, we never did get the conclusion to what he thought about Taka's arts. Gonna hate my art and then kill me. I don't think he's going to hate the art. I mean, partially just because he did in fact survive, but partially because, art, modern art is pretty mind-blowing. Just in terms of perspective. Because we have all these shortcuts and ways to visualize the world in 3D space. I mean, it's not like Renaissance era changes. I mean, Dato lived way after the Renaissance. So it's not like he'd be freaked out by Taka drawing things, in 3D. But I do think there are, I'm not a great, art boy myself. But I feel like there's gotta be, little hints here and there. I mean, part of it might just be the soul of his arts. The fact that Taka wanted to do, creepy stuff that no one wants to pick up. But it might also just be that, the way he draws is not the way that anyone in, 19th century Japan would draw. Oh. I mean, to be fair, I guess this this explains why it is that Taka knew to come in the first place. I mean, not this specifically, but if he shows... Okay, he can project it onto the walls. I was wondering if this was, supposed to be a 3D image or something. But okay, so yeah, he is just, psychically painting it on the wall. I mean, I don't disagree with him. Yeah, like yeah, that's still a thing. Like once he met Dato, I kind of assumed he would lose the arms because like why would he allow him to have the arms for a skedaddle? It also does actually say a lot about Takoha that he didn't think to go like, oh, okay, use the arms to bring her to me, but rather like I'm going there in order to save her. There is a very distinct difference in his like the way in which he acts. Like Taka is the kind of guy who is self-sacrificing, even if he wouldn't say that. Like he just thinks of it as what you should do. He's the kind of person who inherently wants to help people. It's such a like pure thing, but it's something that most people in the series do not have. Okay, that's the stab. Do they not like him? I mean, first of all, he can see that which is written on the walls. I mean, that's just bad in general. You can't fool Dato, but also, I mean, fair, I guess? I mean, were they just pissed? I guess that must be it. Hmm. I mean, it's a stab. Also, it is like a stab through the heart. It's not like a gut stab or anything. Like, that should be lethal. They might stop her. Yep, there we are. So, I mean, this really brings in the question of how in the world is Taka gonna survive this one? He has had the water splashed on him twice now, so there could be like residual effects, perhaps. But even then, like, that's a big wound. How are either of them gonna get out of this one? Oh, Zanka? Hmm. Okay, I mean, now Zanka explains how Karakuro's getting out of this one. Still no idea how Taka is gonna survive this. I really do hope we get an explanation of why the fish specifically. Because they don't have to necessarily be Kairi fear. They could be someone else's. But like, it's so specific. And it's not even like a bunch of crazy random things. It's specifically just this model of fish. It's like, it has to stem from someone specifically, right? Oh, it's our boy, it's Seiichi. My body moved on its own. And we know Seiichi's just straight up brimming with water, so okay. I mean, it doesn't explain Taka's survival, because that's a big ol' stabby stab, but still, there should be enough. Here's hoping. And I might actually... Ooh, a spiral of blades. Is he going to augment his spiral with actual swords? Oh? Hmm? As they cross, he looks into her eyes. Does he see the eyes of his brother? But like, as I was about to say, Seiichi using up some of his water to save Taka, like using up a significant portion, would actually be a really good way of explaining why it is that he could be in any peril whatsoever later on. Like we know he can tear this place apart like it's made out of tissue paper, which really does not leave a lot of peril for him to be in. And at first I thought that that was kind of the point. Like everyone else is in peril, but he's fine. I think this could be a good way to flip it over though. Okay, she's actually cutting it off. I wonder if that implies that, like, she can't squirt the water the way that, Seiichi's blade can. Or, I mean, Spiral. For guys who say they want to live forever, they sure are not living forever. God, I really do appreciate how skilled Zanka is. Like, you could say that maybe he's being augmented a little by the fact that he was healed using Kairakuro's water, but I don't think that's the case. I think all the water's doing is just, allowing him to stay alive, even though he's got, like, no skin. Like, it does seem like that's just all pure skill. I mean, is this the reverse of, the old man? Is it that because the water's inside of him, like, some of the black water's inside of him, it's counteracting hers? Met the nice man before, he's good at drawing cats. That is big mood, actually. Very big mood. Also, that was, like, very early into him being here. So, I mean, even then, I was gonna say, like, oh, that's why he didn't say something like, oh, that's my that's my nephew. But I don't think he would care about that at all. The fact that he's nice and good at drawing cats really is the ultimate thing. Okay, yeah. A single spoonful of the enemy is preventing my hair's spirit water from permeating into his body. That's an interesting way of putting it, too. It's not that the water's leaving her hair, it's, your hair melting, quote unquote. Which I assume means she cut it and now it's, turning back into normal water. Like, it's no longer taking the shape of hair. Like, that would imply that all of her hair is, in fact, water. Which would mean, like, first of all, it would explain why it's so pure white. But It might also mean that once all the water's out of her, like, she might look dramatically different. Okay. So the main problem is that, like, the enemy keeps on bouncing around him. So, like, could they nitrogen it? Could they just, blast him with a little nitrogen all over to, to make it coalesce at one point and then stab it? Right, their entire liquid body forms a single being. For this fragment to die, it would be no different than a human trimming his nails or shaving his beard. I really do appreciate that. That so much of this has compared the idea of destroying some of the water to just destroying Souboutei, because that is, at this point, the case. My theories aside, the water is Souboutei. Therefore, destroying the water is destroying Souboutei. Oh, yikes. Jeez. Also, it didn't strike me until right now, but yeah, it makes sense that Shino would have jumped out, like, because Shino was in his body feeling his emotions. She knew for a fact, like, he 100% intended to drink the nitrogen. Therefore, like, it wasn't safe in his body. There was no reason to, like, leave even a drop inside of him. I want to say it's the ultimate bluff, but it isn't, because it wasn't a bluff. It was. He literally did it intending the water to, intending the nitrogen to enter his body, and it was only Kurenai's, like, interference that saved him. And, like, if either Kairi or Seiichi comes across her, they'll fix her arms up real nice. Especially Seiichi, because Seiichi likes Rokuro so much. I can't leave, because he's got some of the water in him as well. So also, I guess Takoha would not be able to leave unless they purify him. Okay, so yeah, she can... we knew that before, never mind. We did know that. But it's interesting in the way in which she says it. Like, it's not that she didn't realize it wasn't pitch black. Like, she knows it's pitch black, but she can also see perfectly. Oh, that's such a weird combination. I guess that means they both need to be purified before they can leave. Nope. Nope. Okay, this is a bad time. There we are. Okay, good. One of my least favorite things is a bunch of people immediately hopping across one another and going, "Oh boy, you must be the enemy. I'm going to immediately try and kill you." So we're real glad that didn't happen. We knew that they could see in pitch black. What we didn't know was that they could also, like, see the water. Just for a second, but I can make that thing stop moving. How? They don't have any more nitrogen, so what could he do? Like, it looks like Kurenai is getting ready to strike, but I don't know what Makoto's trying to do. Right, and that's why we established that the water is specifically in one of his fingers. So if he holds the finger near the wound, it should, like... I guess the danger then is, like, because they communicate with one another, like, what if they just learn, like, oh, this kid is crazy, run away? Oh yeah, I didn't even consider that. Like, we knew that he could see in the pitch black anyways, but this just confirms that, like, I guess didn't leave, like, 100%. But that also means they can hopefully destroy both, the water in his finger and the water inside of Takoha at the same time. Ooh. Okay, and that's why the chapter's called Limbo. Okay. Alright, here's hoping they save him. Oh, okay, so we did a 180 from being a ghost is so inconvenient, damn it, to, well, actually, like, he can move around. This is, of course, assuming that this isn't, like, a hallucination. I guess if this isn't a hallucination, this is also just confirming that, hey, when you're on the brink of death, you do literally, like, your spirit does leave your body. That is a mechanic that exists in this world that is completely separate from everything else we've seen up to this point. I guess we knew that spirits exist, so never mind. Like, I guess it's connected. It's not, like, completely out of left fields. Yeah, what does happen in there? Because we know that the paintings are portals. But how does that work? I never really considered the mechanics of it. But we do know, like, it's not magic. It's not like... There is... How do I put this? There's no world inside the painting. Like, it is literally just like a door. So how do the mechanics work of someone being dragged in and being shown their past and their greatest fear? Okay. Yeah, so it's just I assume the basement, like the area where all the water's all pooled up. And it looks like the fish that I saw before. So maybe no, that doesn't make any sense. Like, the main body of the invaders is the water, like just the water. I guess we did see in the past they did make like spaceships and stuff. So I guess that might be it. Am I? Hmm. Did their ships did look biomechanical? Right, they did. They did. Did they look like the fish actually? That's something I genuinely just don't remember. I mean, it's been 3 months, but still. Because then that would explain it. If that is like the most natural form for them to take in terms of fighting someone. Whereas, like in the past, they wanted to embody everyone's fears. Therefore, they went for arms or for whatever the painting was supposed to be. Okay. Hmm? Oh, he just went through the portal. Like he's on the enemy planet now. I mean, first of all, this is definitely confirming. It's not a dream sequence. He is like this is actually his spirits. Like we don't know the size of this planet, but assuming it's the size of Earth. I mean, Earth itself is like 70% water, right? More? I think it's more. And this is a planet that is straight up all water. And it's not just all water, it's all water that hates us. So, yeah, kind of a big deal. I mean, realistically, even if all this water manages to get to Earth and it starts attacking everyone, like, humanity, I mean, just life in general is not going to last that long. Humanity is a very small portion of life. But even so, like, we're going to be used up pretty darn quickly. I mean, it's cold comforts. I guess the other big problem is that this is, in fact, a portal, which means that, like, I mean, first of all, I don't want humanity to end any more than anyone else does. It's, not a good thing. Not something I would prefer. But on top of that, like, the water seems to be more or less, like, they're using Earth because it's the easiest thing that they can get to right now. But, if they have a jumping off point, they could terrorize the whole universe, perhaps. So this really is like a we don't want to be destroyed ourselves, but also this is in the best interest of all of creation. But that said, it doesn't matter how many of them there are if you just stop them. Like, they do need to survive. They're not, eternal. So, if we can close up that portal, that's fine. They're done. They can't come. Is the old man still around? Really glad I didn't see this chapter title. That would have been way more spoilery. I guess not, because I wouldn't have considered this. Like, I wouldn't have considered that he was astral projecting. That would have just been a real wild thing to think about. Aw, it's him. It's Grandpa. It's interesting that he is showing himself as Grandpa. I wonder if that's because he's, like, because they're related. Because he did show himself as, the loved one of whichever family was looking at him, right? Oh my god. Never mind. I forgot that this was, that was a pretty brief meeting. But I do appreciate that within a couple of chapters, we got from both sides. We got Seiichi, who only remembered Takoha as that guy who could draw cats real well. And now Takoha's remembering Seiichi as the name of that kid who's apparently my grandfather's brother's son or something. To be fair, I really simplified that. I guess grandfather's brother's son is a lot harder to remember. Like, even if you do generalize, it's just, uncle or something like that. Nope, you still got that link. You're not dead yet. You're just astral projecting yourself through space. Yeah, he only talked a little bit, but he's a really, really good guy. I really appreciate that, actually. Because, like, the thing with Seiichi is showing that, yeah, these two didn't meet up that much, but honestly, none of these people have known each other for very long. Like, in terms of sheer amount of time, it's only been a couple of days. The entire series is only taking place over a couple of days. Like, not counting flashbacks, obviously. But even so, like, they care about each other to this extent. I wonder if that is supposed to just show, like, be an arrow showing the direction? Or if that is the invade. No, that is just an arrow. I was wondering for a moment, like, is that the invader? Did the invader turn itself into an arrow? Hey, got it. Also, yes, it did in fact create the arrow. Like, because of the way it was shaped, I didn't consider it as such. But yeah, it is just an extension of the, arrow tentacles that invade people. Like, or not an extension, it's just a tiny version of that. I mean, first of all, cool that he was able to do it not through the water splashing, but through just through the psychic mechanic as opposed to the watery mechanic. But it says something about Grandpa that he was willing to physically take on that appearance just for the sake of, not freaking out Takoha. Right. I guess that is the big problem, actually. Like, if the water says kill Dado, then like that might be it. Like they might just decide that even if they don't, like, even if he hasn't painted enough paintings for this to 100% work, like he's painted enough, and he's enough of a liability that they may as well just go for it. That combined actually with the fact that Shino is dead, like that might be the big twist. Like because Shino is gone, she might have been the last thing holding the general water back. I mean, like they are all one consciousness, but this is also like applying anthropomorphic qualities to Shino when we know Shino is very alien in nature because she is in fact the water itself. The fate of all humanity rests on one absolutely insane man who wants humanity to be destroyed. It's just, he's too selfish to let it happen. Grandpa seems like he has a plan. I mean, to be fair, assuming that Grandpa works on the same mechanics as the Blackwater, like he should know everything that's going on, like in terms of who's fighting. So maybe the reason he's saying do not worry is because he knows that Karikuro's there. Like he knows that it's not just one person all alone. Tell Seiichi something for me. Don't give up. And the court's pulling him back because they saved him. Chapter 88, What Takoha Saw. So is he going to just give straight exposition in this chapter? It could also be that he sees something else, like apart from everything we've already seen him see. But it might be as simple as him just saying, like, hey, you know that alien planets? Or, hey guys, you're not going to believe this. There's a crazy alien planet full of evil water that wants to kill us. To which Seiichi's going to say, yeah, I know. And Makoto's also going to say, yeah, I know. And Kurenai's going to freak out over that. No, you don't know him. You don't know him. He is 100% coming back. Oh, okay. So he is fighting against it because he wants to see something. Oh, is he looking at all the victims of Souboutei? Also, I guess this does deny something I was considering, which is that, like, that you couldn't trick Dado because he can look around the entire mansion. But to be fair, it makes sense that he wouldn't want to. Like, he doesn't quite care enough to do so. Okay, so now he knows about Seiichi. Oh, okay. Modeling their words after behaviors and emotions from their life seems to ease the effort of communication. I guess that makes sense in terms of just general, like, that's why they have emotions at all, whereas all the others were just kind of freaky zombies. Is he just gonna get killed? Oh, wow. Like, it's not even a, you guys need to execute a thing. It's just a die for me. Jeez. Oh, that's such an... Ugh. Like, I get it, but at the same time, it's so weird for him to be like, yeah, like, he's not really dead. Like, you can just put the water back in him if you want, but at the same time, he's dead. Now, is he going to say soon, or is he going to just say, like, screw you, you're water? As soon as I'm finished with this painting, perhaps. Okay, so fast time limit, real fast. We've got no time at all. Dado's trap. But is this a trap for the survivors, or is it a trap for the water itself? Okay, so now he knows about Seiichi. Like, before they were just bringing it up, but now this is the full, like, yeah, there's someone here who can actually annihilate us. Ah, it's so creepy! Like, yeah, he was hearing Takoha the whole time. He was just ignoring him. You say not to open the gates. I will open them once a painting is complete. I mean, yeah, we knew this. We knew he didn't care. It's interesting that Grandpa could see them, but the black water apparently cannot, like, sense the spirits at all here. But Dado can. Like, that honestly makes it even creepier. I thought the reason why was because, he is on some level, like, he's manipulating the water. I thought maybe he just had the water in him to some extent, but I guess we know he doesn't have the water in him because the water can't control him. These are the wounds in Seiichi's heart, which I have felt from him. Okay. Right, that is true. He did have that strong empathy. All humans, without exception, have cracks in their hearts. Also, oh boy, so jumping from one big mystery, like, I guess it's not quite a mystery. I've just kind of accepted that, sure, Dado can sense people's, deep, deep pain and then, paint based on that. But, yeah, jumping from that to this, like, why is it that they're connected at all? Like, I assumed it was just they entered and then for them time stopped, but that's not true. And that's also not true for Seiichi, who was on a plane, and that plane was just sort of like caught in a rift that transcended time. Like, it wasn't as if things had froze for him. It was like time passed normally for him, but a long time passed, in universe. And I do mean universes in like, both on the alien planet and on Earth. So there must be time dilation of some sorts. Right. Right. Okay, yeah, bringing it back. And a tunnel that connects two distant spaces, the flow of time gets distorted as well. But the two of them never entered a tunnel like that, right? Like in Souboutei, sure, huh? I mean, I guess that is the thing then, like, okay. Yeah, because it's not 2 times, it's technically 3. Hmm. I mean, yeah, how do you explain this? Like, Seiichi has the easy thing of, I'm gonna splash water on you that tells you my entire backstory. But the two of them really can't. Unless, like, does one of them have a smartphone, maybe? I don't think so. Because, Kurenai was, just, like, she doesn't know much about the city in general. And Makoto's not rich or anything. But that doesn't make any sense. You could just be saying anything. Like, you can't say, this happens in your future, because how do you verify that? They never leave after that. Japan goes to war with the US and loses. That's a killable offense. Oh, jeez. I mean, yeah, but how do you explain it without just pulling out some technology? Hmm. I mean, if he, if Seiichi is approaching the painting, it's because he wants to go in, right? And that is a painting designed for him. So the big question is, like, I mean, I guess this is the trap, right? There's reason Seiichi's reaction time against the invaders was delayed. Right. Okay, that plus the hands darted out faster than ever before. So, like, yeah, this is a absolute trap designed specifically to kill Seiichi. However, yeah, that was enough time. Oh, is he going in? Because that would actually be really cool if Zonka goes in. Because, like, the past that Zonka would see would not be modern times, but it would be, like, further ahead. It would be, like, 40 years further for him specifically. Oh boy, because we do know also, like, Seiichi is very, like, mentally stunted just because of, his backstory. As a result, like, this is gonna hit him real hard. Yeah, the invaders took over his fragile inner thoughts much faster. Oh, it's Christmas. It's actually very relevant. I'm recording this, like, a week or two before Christmas. Also, like, that overlay of his current hair over his old hair. I mean, I guess that must... That really doesn't answer it, though. Like, is that all taking place in their minds? Or, like, is it a physical thing happening? Like, is it like a holodeck where the water's actually taking these forms? I guess not. Because he felt this bang, and then he opened his eyes, and he was like, oh boy, I'm about to be eaten by a fish. Now, I mean, I assume it is Grandpa, no, regardless. Like, it is the water that is Grandpa. But is it Grandpa pretending to be his mom? Or is it actually, like, because we know his mom was around. Like, she was a fighter along with him. So is it her spirit lingering here? Right. The fact that after extremely long periods merged with the water, the process of assimilating with the water also involves a gradual shedding of your human components. Okay, so I guess it is really her. It's also cool that, like, it is a knife here, not just like a random body thing, implying that... Oh, no, it's scissors. It's scissors. Right. Never mind. But yeah, like, we did see all the various things that people made. Like, Seiichi's just happened to be a drill, but everyone else just kind of did, like, other random things that meant something to them. So like it is her design. It is her like spirit infusing the water here. Was this a double bait and switch? Like, was it, we're gonna try and lower your guard, but no, actually you're fighting the water. But actually, that was the thing that was supposed to open you up. God. Yeah, so that is it. So like he has just been hanging out, near the pool of water this whole time. All of that was nonsense. I mean, they are also like the arrows are just water. So even if Zonka cuts them, like that doesn't will that help? I guess to be fair, we have seen people stop the arrows before with weapons. Like it's such a struggle. It's like it's as if someone was just walking into the rain with open cuts all over them, and your job was to bat away all of the drops of water so that none of their cuts get infected. How in the world? Also, that explains this. Like, I was wondering why it was the entire pair of scissors. Like, if it was just a part of water from her inside of him, like coming out to save him. But no. So that was a flashback to when they were on the enemy planets, or I guess on Grandpa's planet, trying to save him. And Seiichi does not have the emotional maturity needed to save himself from this. I mean, he doesn't have the emotional maturity, and Zonka is not the kind of guy I would have, to help a child. I mean, he's fine with a sword, but in terms of, a good old pep talk, I wouldn't trust him with it. And I mean, Takoha is the guy. He's the one who saves people when they're in the paintings, but I don't know if he's gonna wake up in time. For everything I said before about how, like, oh, maybe Seiichi's going to run out of water. Like, this is a way better weakness for him, because it's something that we've known about throughout the entire series. Like, we know he's immature. We know this is how the water operates. We know the whole painting thing. And we knew that he had never been taken over by the paintings because he had been tearing through the house like it was nothing. Like, it's so obvious, but it just did not occur to me in the slightest that this would happen. No, it doesn't work like that though. Right. Oh, this series really does not have a single wasted moment. Like, we still haven't really had the whole scene with them at the school come back. But yeah, like the house was very impactful in the moment, and it's impactful now. Like, it is showing that he is extremely weak when it comes to his family. That is it's such a powerful weakness too, because it's not something that most people can fight against. Like, we've seen I mean, yeah, we saw Takoha fight against it, and that's because the painting just tried to throw something at him that he had already overcome. For any normal person, if a trauma that you haven't completely reconciled comes up, like, it's very hard to clear that in 1 second. Oh, is he up? Is he up? Come on. I know you just nearly died and went to an alien planet, but you gotta save someone. Come on, Takoha. Okay, into Seiichi's painting. If we get to the end of the painting arc, I think that's where I'll cut it off. Or, when I say the painting arc, I mean specifically Seiichi's painting. He's so out of it. Here's hoping he's not, like, secretly being puppeteered by the water or something, but I don't think that's the case. I think he is just super spacey because, he nearly died, which, fair enough. He's definitely acting like Takoha, so fair. I love how none of them are ready for him to say, oh yeah, I was a ghost for a little bit there. I mean, he was, but I'd much rather take a nap and wait till I'm ready before going out, but just waking up every single day of our lives, we're put in situations we couldn't prepare for. So this is no difference. I mean, yeah. Oh, okay. Also, they'll only carry him, which also retroactively explains why it is like. I do think, regardless, even if they could carry other people, he would have still gone in to save Kairikuro. But it also explains why he didn't grab her, / why he wouldn't just send them out to protect everyone at all times. I mean, okay, I guess that worked. I guess it did. Okay. They're in. Oh, jeez, I hadn't even considered that. Okay, I mean, his usual move is just giving you a dose of reality, so how does he give a dose of reality to Seiichi? I mean, I guess that's why Roku is here. Because even if he doesn't have a good argument for why he should, hang on to life, at the very least he could say, hey, Rokuro's here, you like him, right? So that means... Oh, jeez. Though, that might not be a bad thing. Like, in the sense that it's not like it's not the invaders going into him, or actually, are the invaders sucked up into it? Oh, I actually can't tell. I don't think so. I think that's all just his drill, which, I mean, I guess it would be bad if it tore him apart, because then the invaders could definitely go into him. Mm. Like, I was thinking about it in the sense of, like, if he destroys himself with his own drill, technically he's not letting the invaders in, but if he opens himself up physically by tearing himself apart, yeah, that's gonna leave some holes. Okay. It became a ghost. Went through. Oh, right. Grandpa did tell him, like, specifically, you'll be fine. Don't give up. The mother inside your body would never want you to die. Even I know that. Can't you hear it too? Oh boy. I mean, again, it's a drill made out of water that heals you, so I don't think it's gonna kill him. But still, that's such an interesting parallel, actually. That you know, uh, that the initial telepathy happened because of the water being splashed on everyone, but instead, like, now this is Taka's blood being splashed on Seiichi. Oh, he's being, like, psychically beaten up. This is such a strong contrast too between, like, just general, like, suicidal panicked feelings. Like, the general voices that say, like, you suck, you're awful. Here's just a bad thing. And then, like, Makoto saying very specific things. I do think that actually calms you down quite a bit when I'm freaking out over my existence. So, Uncle Seiichi. God, so cute. They brought him back. Oh my god, that was so wholesome. Holy shit. I mean, like, legitimately, Seiichi could have died here. That was a nasty trap. And, I mean, it was also just straight up depression, which, I mean, if I knew how to beat it, believe me, I would want to know. But I'm really glad they were able to bring him back from the brink. Man, that is satisfying. Okay. I think I will call that the end of this mini arc of this video. So that goes up to chapter 93. Whew. Good chapters. Like, I guess right now it's mostly just been an intensification of what we already knew. I did not, in fact, read 94, so let's just make sure I don't, accidentally skip over that one. But yeah, we actually went through quite a bit. I guess it was half the Seiichi being in the painting thing and half Taka, just nearly being dead. But it's cool. Like, I appreciate that for most of the series, everyone's had a different understanding of what's going on, and this was the series of chapters that kind of linked everything together. That kind of got everyone on more or less the same page. Plus, we have a final countdown for Dato. Like, he is going to let the water come in, so it's not going to be a great time, but it's not going to be an awful time. I guess it really comes down to, like, Seiichi is not dead, so does he double down on it? Like, does he do everything he can to specifically just destroy Seiichi before the water comes in? Because that actually could save them. Like, if he doesn't think to just open the floodgates. Because that's the main thing. Like, if he were to open the floodgates...
Wait, why didn't you...
Hmm? Yeah?
Sorry.
Anyways, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, that there really is no way to stop the invasion. Like, ever since we learned about it, it's always been in the back of my head, like, it feels like there's no way to do it, but there's got to be something. I guess the main thing is just we didn't fully understand, I mean, until last reaction, why it is that the water didn't just all flood in, which comes down to just Dato doesn't want it to happen. So, if he dies, or if he just decides, yeah, it's fine, let's just do it, humanity is screwed. And we have no way to stop that. I mean, we can destroy Souboutei. That's really it. I guess it comes back to the title once more. Souboutei must be destroyed. We do know that the water can come even without Souboutei, though. It'll take a long time. So it does bring up the question of just, can we destroy it? I mean, Data was able to command it through his raw emotion, so it might be as simple as that. It might be as simple as just someone else being able to talk to it. I guess the ending could actually be Takoha just talking to it, in the way that he talks to everyone, anyone being possessed by the paintings. He might just go to the water and say, hey, knock it off. But I don't quite think that's going to happen, because in the end, it is life or death for the water itself. Like, you can't really say knock it off to someone fighting for their lives, or for, its own existence, especially after it's destroyed, countless worlds in order to stay alive. Like, one planet's not going to really change its minds. But then again, I mean, emotion's very new to it, so maybe. We'll see. Anyways, this was a cluster of a reaction. It was a rough time, but I did have fun with it. It's nice to be back into the swing of things, and 94 to 109 might be able to catch up in the next video. So we'll see. Also, if you're one of those people adding ecchi to the content tags, knock it off. It's not an ecchi series. Alright, thank you all so very much for watching. Apologies for the long waits. No promises on when the next video is coming, but I'm gonna try and fit one in, like, sometime early 2020, not late 2020. I really do want to catch up and then properly go through it. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Bye for now. Nya nya.